what we're playing is called Path of the Valorous, and it is a test, a training test that is used by the Protectorate of Jenulane, and for followers of Gorhan the Helmed Vengeance. And so, this is an opportunity. Gorhan the Helmed Vengeance is the god of vengeance and valor. And this, which actually I think I'm going to need. Is that too bright? Is that annoying? It looks fine.
Just open the stream so I can actually see you. Alright. 5. Still typing all my stats in.
That's okay.
The one thing is, does this app pull it into anything? Like, does it save the character, or does it just leave it up?
I think you can export somehow. Let's see.
Okay.
I'm going to click on 0.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's one that says email.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that would have made my life a lot easier if I
would have done that. There's copy share and there's email. Look at
Done. There we go. Now I can stop copying stuff over into the sticky note on my desktop.
Sticky note works fine too.
True. Alright, and let me go grab the book real quick so I can check on spell stuff.
You know, all the things that you expect that you can do, such as laying on hands, turning undead, or I should say turning, because it doesn't have to be specifically undead.
Oh, well, that is different. I've been playing a lot of 5e, and that's really specific in 5e.
Yeah, no, in DCC, you turn the opposite alignment. So if you're chaotic, you can turn lawful, and if you're lawful, you can turn chaotic.
Do I select my alignment, or is this just something that is...
You select your alignment.
I'm going to go with lawful. It just seems the simplest.
And that also makes sense for Gorhan. I guess they call it turn unholy. But I will read you the little blurb. A cleric wields their holy symbol to turn away abominations. At any time, a cleric may utilize a spell check to deter unholy creatures. An unholy creature is any being that is the cleric's scriptures declared unholy. Typically, this includes undead, demons, and devils. For information on turning unholy, see page 96, as well as spell checks, yada, 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 yada.
Okay.
But, yeah, it if I recall correctly, on page 96, it's got a lot of flexibility.
Okay. I just have the starter rules.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you don't have page 96.
I was going to say, I might, but I just never noticed. Although I have been looking at ordering myself a copy of the full rule book based on how much we were playing.
So. Yeah, and I encourage that wholeheartedly because it is great.
There's so many cool covers, and I assume that all of them are the same book. They're just different cover arts.
Yeah, there's... So, we'll do a little PSA here.
Okay, great.
So the thing to know... when DCC was designed, Joseph Goodman was of the mindset that there will only be one edition ever. Okay. So they've done 9 printings, I think, and within those 9 printings, there are changes in a couple of areas. They fixed typos, and then they've also changed out the sample. The sample adventure in each one. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So each edition is different in that way. As far as the different covers, there's so many cool different covers. If I didn't already have this one, I would go with one of the black and silver, like the silver foil ones.
That's what I was looking at. It's expensive, but I'm just kind of like, if I'm gonna go, like, why not get the one that looks awesome?
Yeah. But yeah, a bunch of them are done by guest artists, so those are cool too.
Yeah, they have the gold foil one in stock, but that was out of stock last time I looked.
Yeah.
Either way, sorry.
Yeah.
Minutia.
Indeed. So I'm gonna give you some backstory because you were not present for any of this. So you're familiar with Stennard, the town that you've been working out of with your other character.
Mm-hmm.
So Stennard is one of 3 towns that are under the protection of the Protectorate of Jenulane. And the Protectorate of Jenulane is a small holy order that is based in the worship of Gorhan, the Helmed Vengeance. So the Protectorate is based out of a tower that's on a high hill that is a couple of miles away from, or several miles away from Stennard. But it's on this high hill, and it has a signal beacon up on the top. And the Great Hall in Stennard also has a signal beacon on top. And the nearby towns of Hastrel and I can't remember the name of the other one. It starts with the letter I. But that all 3 of those towns also have a signal beacon, and so that way they are able to communicate with the Tower of Jenulane if they have a pressing issue. But the Tower of Jenulane also is a place that one can train if they are a warrior that is a worshiper of Jenulane or a cleric. So, one of the things that the Protectorate has is this ritualistic training called the Path of the Valorous. So, I am going to flip some cards over here. All right. Do you need anything else before we get started?
Nope, I think I got everything written down. The one thing I noticed was that for level 1 clerics, said that I have 4 spells. Is that spell slots, or is that just there should be 4 spells? If I had a full rule book, I could actually see 4 of them, kind of thing.
Yeah, you would have 4 spells. This is meant to be kind of like the transition from 0 level to 1st level. Okay. So you don't have your spells just yet.
Okay.
But at the same time, you're going to learn along the way. So I am going to... Ian is just throwing himself around on top of the couch nearby. So
Attaboy.
Yeah. So you have been staying at the Tower of Jenulane, and you have been spending time in the chapel and also in the library and studying and learning. And they deem that you are ready to attempt the Path of the Valorous. They lead you down into a dungeon, and you walk through some torchlit tunnels, and you walk along a torchlit underground tunnel cut from the hill below the tower. It has a slight but noticeable decline. You eventually reach a door that opens into an additional corridor with daylight visible ahead. It ends in a sturdy grate that leads out toward a well-worn forested track. Ahead, you see a stone archway crossing the path. Are you going to approach?
Yes.
Okay.
Approach the archway.
All right. Before you is an archway built of fieldstone. 2 wide columns rise about 10 feet into the air, with the arch itself beginning at about 8 feet. The top of the archway is crenulated as if it were a gatehouse to a castle. An embossed metal shield adorns the arch above the peak. It depicts a long sword and a bucket helm surrounded by flowers. Each column has a long sword-shaped engraving pointing down, with the hilts set at about eye height. Each column has a V-cut into the stone at the tip of the sword. Water spills from the cuts in the stone into half-circle basins below. On the right-hand column, a sign reads in the common tongue. Now, before we know whether you can read this or not, what is your intelligence?
It is a 12, which is a 0 modifier.
Okay. So I want you to roll a d20 for me.
All right. I rolled a 5.
Okay. Actually, what we're going to do is so that people can see it if they are watching the stream, which is unlikely, but do the DCC roll 1d20.
Okay. I did do that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Why? Here, let me switch to Discord.
The previous one, I did roll just the roll usage, but I did use the DCC bot for the second one. For this
If you could keep your rolls in the Precipice Wednesday night channel, that would be.
Oh, yes. I probably shouldn't be letting everybody know.
Yeah.
That's what's probably happening here. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Do you want me to re-roll, or do you want me to accept?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, re-roll so that the
Thank
people
you.
at home.
I rolled an 8.
Why did it not broadcast? Huh.
Nick, you're back in general.
Oh. Okay. Okay. There we go. Hey! Success. Okay. So, yes, I'm going to say that you are capable of reading. And says, tread only if chivalrous deeds swell your heart. My blessing is only bestowed upon the brave and righteous. Pay your tribute to me in silver or in blood, and walk the path of the valorous. Each of the basins are filled with water, and the bottom... Oops. Yes. Each of the basins are filled with water. And... Yes. So, what do you do?
Okay. I clearly do not have any silver on me.
You don't have any... it didn't give you silver pieces? Or it gave you copper pieces?
37 copper pieces, and I have a gem that's worth 20 gold.
Okay.
Which means that I have pretty limited funds here, other than my natural funding.
Okay.
This might be too meta to ask the question, but would a cleric be nervous to use blood in some sort of magical ritual of any kind?
No.
Okay. Well, then I would like to do that. I have... see what I have for equipment here. Just trying to see if I have a blade of some kind on me. Yeah, I have a dagger. So I'd like to take my dagger and slice my palm and maybe drip some blood into one of the basins.
Okay. Yeah, as you go over to the basin, each of the basins are filled with water, and the bottoms are littered with coins. Long-legged insects periodically flit across the water's surface. A small knife rests on the rim of the right-hand basin. So you notice that there was a knife waiting there.
Well, dang.
But yeah, you've got your own, so it's fine.
True. Came prepared.
Okay. Very good. Do me a favor and roll a d6. Okay. Put that write that number off in like the corner of your character sheet.
Okay, done.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. It should. You rolled a 4. It was actually I didn't read far enough ahead. You were supposed to roll a d8.
Oh,
So roll a d8, and we'll see if the d8 was better. Yeah.
it was.
So
6.
cross out the 4, write a 6.
Okay, done.
Oh, playtesting. So very good. You've got a slice across your hand, like you're going to become blood brothers if you ever knew about that when you were a kid.
I am familiar with the concept, yes.
Yes. So you got a slice across your palm. You are standing with your blood dripping into the basin, and you are looking through the gateway. What would you like to do?
Do I notice are there any noticeable changes that occur when I do this?
You feel good about it.
Okay.
As a young adherent to Gorhan, the Helmed Vengeance, you feel like you have done the right thing.
Okay. All right, then I would like to just kind of take a look around, take a look into the gate, and just before I just like charge straight in, I just kind of want to take a look at what my options are here.
Okay. So, there goes Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
So you see that there is like a plinth just inside the gateway, and it has the following words: I walk the path of righteousness, beset on all sides. I banish the encroaching darkness. Evil has nowhere to hide. Then there is a space. And then it says, I leap with faith. I stride with belief. He has chosen my path. I will let him guide my feet. This is a break. And then it says, I am the light in the darkness, and I have no fear. He expects no less. With faith I see clear. Strike with unerring truth. Bestow his vengeance with spite. Smite your enemies with sword. Bring righteousness with might. We bear the helm. We cherish the sword. We stand with virtue, and we deliver his word. We all must face ourselves. We must carry the weight. Like mirrors, we reflect the pain, and rain our blows with hate. So, you see this plinth, and beyond the plinth, you see a path.
Excellent. I will head down the path, noting the Hatebreed lyrics I have just read. I was trying to think of a more clever band than that, but I was just like, once you got to the end part, I was like, no, the enemy smashing part is where I was like, all right, we're in.
There you go. All right. Beyond the archway is a path of cracked fieldstone that becomes a series of 50 or more irregular steps, some covered in moss, leading down the hill. No handholds are to be seen on either side.
How far apart are these? Is this like I'm going to be playing floors made of lava and jumping across from stone to stone? Well, if I were to try and stay on the stones?
No, you would be able to. I wish I had the same picture that I used for. Actually, I can do this. Hang on.
All right.
I'm gonna go into Discord on my phone and go to Precipice Wednesday and give me 1 minute as I I was on a hike with Lisa a number of weeks ago, and the inspiration for this stairway was there.
Awesome.
Okay. Trees. Okay.
I'm sure it's been done before, but that makes me interested in a campaign of something where instead of using artwork, you just use photographs taken out and about.
Hopefully this doesn't show up sideways. There you go.
Nope, looks great. Okay, excellent. I wasn't sure if it was just like a stone path where it was just like paver slabs in the dirt. But all right, I will descend the staircase or ascend, whichever direction I'm heading in.
You're heading down.
Okay, I will descend.
All right. All right. So, at the base
Where
of
is this from? This is really pretty.
7 Bridges.
Oh, I love that place.
Then you've seen this set of stairs. So, at the base of the stairs is a stream cut into the hillside that rushes down the hill. The forest around you is littered with felled trees, one of which crosses the stream, some 10 feet ahead, some 10 feet above the surface. It is covered in moss and looks treacherous. The path continues on the other side of the flowing water. So you see that to one side, and to the other, you see you see a path that leads to a mausoleum. Which do you want to take?
So it's a mausoleum, and what was my other option? That's to...
A tree across a stream.
I would like to go to the tree across the stream.
Okay. Very good. So, I've now taken my loose pages out of the book. Let's put it here. Where did you go? I have failed. Okay. I know what's happening. All right, so the forest around you is littered with felled trees, one of which crosses the stream some 10 feet above the surface. It is covered in moss and looks treacherous. The path continues on the other side of the flowing water. So, you wish to approach?
Yes.
Okay. So you are looking upon this tree. Are you going to cross it?
Yes. What does it look like in terms of crossing? Do I know how deep the water is? Can I tell that it's walkable, or is it something where I should probably be concerned about swimming?
Okay, so you could climb the 10 feet down to the stream.
Okay.
But you see that this tree is part of the path, and yeah, you could go around it, or you can go across it. It does look treacherous.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way to approach this without Crossing that. If I can find a way around it, I'd like to take some time to try to figure that out.
Okay. So yeah, it's a muddy bank, but you could possibly climb down.
Okay.
It looks like it would be kind of treacherous to do that as well.
Yeah, I've learned that this game is all kinds of danger, although I don't think you're trying to actively kill me this time, so I'm trying to think which treachery I would like to approach. I would like to try and climb down. That's what I'm going to go for right now.
Okay, very good. So you step up to the tree, and you're like, you look down, and you're like, maybe this is the safer bet. But you see that it's a pretty steep incline. It's very muddy, but there are some roots that are sticking out and what have you, and you could probably climb down. What's your agility?
It is a 13.
13, so that's a +1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you decide that you're going to try and climb down. Please make a d20 check with a +1.
Got a 15.
Okay. So you climb down into the using the roots. You climb down into the water, and there is thick mud at the bottom, but you are able to cross, and you get to the other side. Would you like to climb up the other side?
Yes.
All right, roll another d20.
Is there anything else noticeable, or is it just kind of like mud wall, river mud wall? Or
Exactly.
there wouldn't be any, there's no like bank for me. Okay. All right. That's a natural one.
All right, so you start to climb up, and you slip down, and I want you to roll a d10 for me.
Yay, charts. All right, let's see what happens. Roll the 10.
Okay. So I also, what's your luck?
My luck is a 14.
14. Okay. Very good. Why am I looking at this? There's a much faster. Should be much faster.
I don't think I've ever seen the rule book in person until now, and I did not realize it was like Warhammer rule sized.
Oh yeah, and most of it is spells.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But that's because each spell uses an entire page. So,
very cool.
But you have the +1.
Yes.
So. Okay, so you go to climb up, and you reach up and grab onto one of these roots that's sticking out of the mud wall, and it breaks, and you fall backwards, and you end up knocking the wind out of yourself. You're stunned.
Okay.
So you're laying on your back in the water. You landed on a rock into your back. It hurts like hell. You lose your breath, but you feel intact. You just need a minute.
Okay. Is there anywhere else that I could try to head? Could I swim down the river in either direction to try and find some sort of purchase anywhere else? Or am I going to have to just kind of catch my breath and keep trying to climb this thing?
You tell me. You tell me what you want to do.
I would like to take a look in either direction to try to see if I can find anything that's an improvement. If I don't see anything too far away, then I'm just going to attempt to climb the wall again.
Okay. So as you start to get away from the tree, You walk for like a minute, and then everything starts to get kind of misty.
Okay.
So still the same like muddy bank, like steep muddy bank, but you feel like you are entering into just a unsettling mist.
Okay. I'm gonna head back toward the tree where the mist is lessened,
Okay.
and I'll just try to climb back up again.
Okay. On the opposing side.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, roll a d20.
Would I use my agility for this? Oh yeah.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah, d20 plus 4.
Oh my god.
All
Just
right.
can't roll high. That was a 4.
Yeah. So
Nice.
you start to climb, and you as you go to grab for where that root was, you're like, it's not there, and so you grab higher, and once again one of the roots breaks, and you just kind of slide down.
All right. I'm trying to think if I have any other way to improve my situation here rather than just continually stick my hands in the mud, which I can do, I assume. Let's see here. Just looking through my equipment to see what it does. Flint. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna keep going. Just keep hammering at it. Maybe try to dig out some handholds or something. Grab some roots. Is that okay?
Yep.
I know, riveting stuff. I just keep getting stuck on a wall.
There you go.
Natural 20.
You take a deep breath, and you're like, I've got this. And you climb up, and you pull yourself right up, and then you do it with such vigor that you like jump straight up to your feet, and you're like, yeah, I did it.
I genuinely feel that way right now.
All right. So you walk a ways on the other side of the path, and you see another split. And in one direction, you see a path or I should say, you hear in the distance creaking, like loud trees creaking. And then in the other direction, you see where the river bends and cuts back, and the path seems to intersect with the river again. So do you want to go towards the creaking, or do you want to go towards what is probably another crossing?
Interesting. I was going to say, you said you could hear the trees creaking, and I was going to say, I'm going to get myself away from the water. I'll follow the path toward where it intersects.
So not the creaking.
Correct.
Towards the. Okay.
Option number 2.
All right. So you look ahead and you see the path crosses the stream yet again. This time you see a series of 6 flat-topped posts jutting up out of the stream, creating a treacherous-looking path leading to the other side. I used the word treacherous too much. I'm going to make a note of that.
It's a good word.
It is a good word, but overused, it's not.
I will say that based on the fact that it's basically 6 posts sticking out of the water, and I'd have to run across it kung fu movie style, that feels like treachery to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'm going to try that.
All right.
That is my goal, is to try to run across those.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and it looks. Yeah, you look at it and you're like, this is what I'm meant to do. Now, you're not going to go cautiously. You're going to go full on sprint across it.
How far apart are the posts?
Um.
Am I gonna have to jump, or is it like a hop?
Uh. Do you ever watch shows like Ultimate Ninja Warrior or anything like that?
I have seen them a few times. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I liked was it Ultimate Beastmaster? I think that was my go-to. But yeah, it looks like you could do like a cautious hop from one to the next to the next to the next,
okay.
or if you do big strides, you can go pop 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 and go across.
I think I'm gonna try the more cautious double foot hop style.
Okay. Very good. So I want you to roll a d20 and modify for agility. And just before you make the roll.
Oops. Sorry. Yeah, I got excited.
Okay, sorry. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 16.
Oh, very
Yeah.
good. So.
What were you going to say? I could pretend like I didn't do it if you'd like.
Oh no, I was going to ask you if you wanted to tap into your luck, but you rolled a good roll, so we're gonna go with that.
I have yet to burn luck rolls. Does that have to happen before you roll the dice?
So I had been not so there's two modes of thought, but the idea, I believe, is that even though I was using it where you burn the luck after in order to bump your dice roll up, a lot of people do play it where you are supposed to burn luck before. That is actually I'm gonna look that up really quick to see what the actual manual says. Because what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that the game I probably play the most and have the biggest collection of is Arkham Horror, the card game, and that's how they make you do everything. It's always before you pull the modifier, little tokens, basically like rolling a die. You have to commit stuff beforehand, which is both. It's a brutal rule, but like it creates tension that I really appreciate.
Yeah, no, actually, that's when I saw that that's how people were doing it. At first, I was like, that seems hard, and then I was like, no, actually, DCC is supposed to be hard.
That's how I'm looking at it too.
So, burning luck. As noted earlier, a character can permanently burn luck to give a one-time bonus to a roll. For example, a character could burn 6 points to get a +6 modifier on a roll. A character can only burn luck to affect their own die rolls, except for halflings. Luck cannot be burned to affect the die roll of other characters or monsters, even if they affect the character. Luck is typically used to affect a character's attack rolls, damage rolls, spell checks, thief checks, and saving throws, but it can also be used for other purposes. A character can declare their intent to burn luck before or after the die roll. And they specify how many points they will burn. Okay, so it explicitly says before or after.
All right. I can understand why a GM would want to just say you have to do one of those, because it just creates a different kind of tone for how you're playing.
Yeah.
And I will, if you want to just play it as written, I'm happy with that. Or if you want to pick one, I'm happy with that too.
I'll go with as written.
Okay, great.
So, yes. So you launch yourself forward. And you launch yourself forward from post to post, only pausing after several strides as you balance on one foot for a brief moment before completing the crossing. So you have made great strides and you feel energized. You're like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And there goes Harlow.
Hi, Harley.
Harlow.
Sorry.
Harley's
I don't know why
dead.
I said... I know, and as soon as I said it, I was like, that's the wrong dog. What have I done? I'm sorry.
All right, so you get to the other side, and oops, I tossed back the wrong one. You get to the other side, and you see a set of stairs winding down to one side. and you see a path that leads back towards the or off to the right hand side. So you've got two different paths, and neither of them has any clear indicators. One goes down a set of stairs, and the other goes off to the right hand side.
Okay. There's no markings around. There's nothing I can see in the area that indicates anything. It's just kind of a whatever my instincts are.
Yep.
Great. Then I will take the stairs.
Okay. All right. On the other side, the path swings out away from the stream and then cuts back in as another fieldstone stairwell leads down into the water. Across from you is a partially submerged cave. After working up a sweat getting to this point, the water... I jumped ahead. So yeah, so the stairs go straight down into the water.
Okay. I may or may not metagame a little bit here and head down those stairs into the water.
Okay. Very good.
In hopes to find something ahead.
Yes. Yeah, well, ahead is an underwater cave. Because across from you is a partially submerged cave.
Okay.
So after working up a sweat getting to this point, the water feels stunningly cold. Numbness almost immediately starts to enter your feet. The water is only knee-deep until you get to the cave mouth, and then it drops to your waist. So, you are looking forward at this cave. And it is partially submerged. But when I say partially, there's only like when you're first looking at it, it's like, let's say, a foot of cave that you can see. But now that you're close, you can see that it gets to a point where it looks like there's only like an inch between the surface of the water and the gap at the top.
So I'm going to have to dive into some freezing water if I want to see what's in this cave.
Correct.
Do I have the opportunity to go back and head down the path?
Yeah,
or
you
have
can.
I gone too far?
Yeah, no, you
I
can.
think I'm gonna...
You can be all dripping wet and cold and go the other way.
Okay. I'm afraid of the ramifications of having to dive down in freezing water right now.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? No, I'm committing. That's how I play this. Yeah, I make my decisions, wrong or right. I'm making the decisions. Naturally, I went this way. I see an underwater cave. My brain will kill me if I don't get to find out what's in that cave. Let's head into the cave.
Very good. So, you enter the darkness and attempt to swim through the tunnel before you. So I want you to roll a d20, and I want you to modify for stamina.
Oof. Okay. That's a 7 for me.
Okay.
Another natural 20, but it's -1 is a 19.
Okay. Shrugging off the chill, you push yourself underwater. You swim forward on a single breath until light appears. Knowing you have reached the other side, you rise.
Phew.
Yeah. You cruised right through that.
I just stared at the enter key, going, "Are you really going to do this?"
All right, so So, you get to the other side, and before you is a being formed of shifting black smoke. So you rise up out of the water, and you shake it off, and you like clear your eyes, and before you is a being formed of shifting black smoke. The being stands tall at over 6 feet. The only corporeal elements of this creature are a dark metal bucket helmet and a blunt-edged longsword. What do you do?
I'm going to greet it just to see what it does.
All right, so you hail it, and a smoky, spectral-like finger does the come hither motion, and they take on a defensive stance.
Okay. I would like to draw. Yeah. I would like to draw my dagger.
Okay. Very good. So, we both need to roll for initiative.
Right. Also, last sort of question here.
Sure.
The lucky sign, is that something that only applies to 0 level characters? Is that something that carries
No,
over?
that is forever.
Okay. And what does that do for me? I have Path of the Bear, which is melee damage rolls.
It does. Your luck modifier is applied to your melee damage.
Great. Now I understand. It's right there in all of the words.
Yeah, exactly.
And for initiative, is it just a d20, or do you add any of your stats to
that? Agility.
Okay.
Okay. So, you are moving with great speed.
Okay.
So, you see the spectral being in their defensive stance. What do you do?
I would like to try to run behind it and do what I can to knock the bucket off its head. That is my goal. Every time you laugh, I'm just like, oh, that was the wrong move, but we'll see what happens.
I'm just amused that you want to sneak behind it and knock its hat off.
It's the only, if I can't see anything corporeal about it, I don't immediately assume I could stab it. So, see,
right.
It's the Lovecraft rule of I have to read a book to make the thing go away. You can't defeat it with fisticuffs all the time, although maybe I should try fisticuffs once in a while.
Well, you have made your statement. Roll a d20.
You got it.
And modify for strength.
Okay. This one. I got a 16.
All right. So, you dart off to the side, and it turns confused, and you give it a smack on the head, and you successfully hit it. Roll a 1d3 and modify for strength.
And then if that's considered melee damage?
Well, roll the d3.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, so you with sheer enthusiasm, you go swat, and you smack it in the back of the helmet, and the helmet, even though this thing, it appears to be non-corporeal, it's made of mist. You actually, the helmet itself has weight to it, and it feels like there is something rigid inside of it. And so you hit it, and you feel like you knock it a little. It stumbles, but at the same time, you realize that even though it looks like mist, it has physical form.
Okay. Could have used all these rolls to actually stab it, but here I am.
Okay. So, it turns to respond. And so it is slightly off balance in its weird non-corporeal way. It seems very confused by what just took place, and it turns and it attempts to make a thrusting stabbing motion, but misses you completely. What would you like to do?
I would like to retaliate and attempt to stab it with my dagger.
All right, so roll a d20, modify for strength.
Okay, I rolled a 9.
And would you like to modify that in any way?
13 is still a +1 modifier, yeah? I will modify it. I will burn a single point of luck to push that to a 10.
Okay.
So now I'm at 13 luck.
Take that off of the 6 you have written off in the corner.
Okay.
So you bumped it to a 10.
Yes.
This even yeah. Okay. So you bump it to a 10, and you stab, and you thrust forward, and the mist is, or the smoke, the black smoke, it feels rigid enough that it deflects the blade away.
Okay.
You definitely feel like this is a sturdier being. It definitely is not soft like flesh. Okay.
And presumably now that I've attacked, I would have to have... Is there engagement? So if I wanted to move away, I would have to have disengaged.
You could disengage on your next turn.
Okay. Now, I don't plan to do that. I was just trying to figure out my options during combat.
Okay. So it steps back, and it does some footwork. Goes into like a riposte, and then it makes a strike. What is your AC?
It's 11.
11. All right. So it makes a pinpoint strike with a swing at your side, and it does a whole 1 point of damage.
Oh boy, I got lucky.
Yes.
Okay.
And I actually rolled the wrong die. I was supposed to roll a 1d6, but I'm not going to re-roll it on you.
All right, thanks. Okay, I will attempt to stab it again.
Okay. And tell me about your stab. What type of maneuver are you going to make?
I kind of try to knock him off kilter initially, and it seems like we're kind of standing up. But now that he's made contact with me, I take it a lot more seriously, and I start to shape up. I would like to try and square up and watch what he's doing before I stab at like his chest.
Okay. Very good.
17.
Yes. So you watch their motions, and you feel like you have a perfect opportunity, and you stab forward, and you impact. Dagger's a D4.
Yep, and then I have +2 because +1 strength, and I get my luck modifier as well, which is still +1.
Okay.
That's 5.
All right. So, you see the smoke start to dissipate. They are still there. The helmet is still floating, but you see this. You have this sense that this body is starting to dissipate. And it takes once again takes a step back and goes into a defensive pose. And then it does a swing low for your legs. And what's your AC again?
11.
11. So it successfully strikes.
I was very rude of it, and I'm mad at it.
And
boy.
It clips. It hits your leg, like you get hit like just below the knee, and it is excruciating. Now, mind you, it is a blunt sword, so it's not like this thing has severed your leg or anything, but it's like you just got hit with a baton or a club on the side of your leg, and it hurts. What are you going to do?
Had I not already hit it, I'm just telling you in advance, I would have disengaged and tried to run away.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to attempt to stab it again to see if I can finish it off.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. Okay, so I'm going to roll that plus my strength. That's a 7. I will burn. Let's just burn 5.
Yeah, you've got the remaining 5.
I'm going to use the rest of the 5.
Okay. Unfortunately, it is not quite enough.
Okay.
I
kept hoping it was an 11 or 12. Yikes.
And now, this time, it steps back and it brings the blunted sword up high, and it does a downward strike towards your shoulder.
No matter what, I'm toast here. Yeah, it brings me to -1.
Yep, and you go unconscious.
No.
And the next thing you know, you wake up and you are laying at the gateway that you started at. The person that led you to the dungeon, to the corridor that led out to the gate, appears in the exit door that you had used to get out into this forested area, and they reach out a hand in order to bring you back into the tower. What would you like to do?
I will take their hand.
Okay. Very good. So yeah, so you end up being led back into the tower. You go back down the torchlit. You're slumped and slinking, but there is part of you that feels like you have learned something from this experience. What do you think that you have learned from this experience?
Know my limitations. If we're speaking in meta terms, I probably would have run away from combat as opposed to just taking it head on, not knowing much about my enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be careful. That's basically what I've learned from this, is that to be analytical and yeah, before I take action.
Interesting. Okay. And so they lead you back, and they ask you about about your experiences, and they lead you up to your room so that you can recover from this beating that you have taken.
Very good. I will rest.